previously on the Vampire Diaries.
It was a grim Wednesday evening in Dunleer. Rain lashed against the windows of Patty's gaff, and the smell shit and reheated curry sauce lingering in the room. Inside, two lads were deep in the trenches of pure comfort. Patty sat on the worn couch like a literal mountain of muscle, arms the size of kegs folded across his chest, his one-piece t-shirt stretched to its limit over his boulder shoulders. Gerard, slightly taller, with that kind of good-looking face that got him free drinks and Shermanes, but not good enough for modeling, lounged beside him, clutching a half-eaten Twixen, staring blankly at the TV. They were watching Come Dine With Me on E4, high off the drama of passive-aggressive Yorkshire folk arguing about lamb. But then, disaster struck. Gerard said these gimps can't cook. I'd make a show of them, nigga, Patty agreed. He said, I know nigga. Click nothing. Click, click. Still nothing. Gerard stared at the remote, then at the TV, then at Patty. It's not working, Brev. Patty leaned forward, grunted, and pressed all the buttons at once, and said, ah, for fuck's sake. Then panic set in. Gerard's eyes widened. He began to tremble. I don't know who I am without Come Dine With Me. He was actually shaking now. Patty slapped him across the face. Not hard, just enough, and said, would you cop on? We need a new remote, Patty said grimly. Let's go into town. They trudged through puddles into the weirdest pawn shop in Louth, John's emporium of shite, sometimes electronics. A bell rang above the door, and before they could even see the counter, a familiar voice greeted them. Look at these two gimps, said John, grinning. Behind the till John was a weird, small, cheeky man with a love for chaos and feet. He was leaning on the counter with a smirk that said, I'm not helping you useless cunts. Just as Patty was about to answer back, John's younger friend Kwani popped up from behind the till. Sup, niggas, Quan shouted. Well, nigga, Gerard said. They ignored him then and cut straight to the issue. We need a remote, said Patty. Urgent. John pulled out a dusty universal remote from under the counter. I've only got this. Gerard tilted his head. It'll be Grand Brev. It's from Bulgaria, John said. Or maybe hell. Not sure. Did we ask? Patty said, shut the fuck up, said John. How much? Gerard asked. 10 euro. 4 euros 50, Gerard countered. I said 10. Patty checked his pockets. No money. Gerard, pay him, Patty said. I'm broke, Gerard replied. They looked at each other, nodded, and legged it. Oh, you robbing pricks, John screamed, vaulting the counter like a gasping mountain goat. He made a phone call to the police and said, these two guys robbed from his store, the police showed up and arrested Quan because he's black. Back at the flat, panting and victorious, the lads burst through the door and slammed it shut. Patty shoved batteries into the remote, and Gerard stood ready at the TV. Time to finish Come Dine With Me, he declared. He hit the power button. The TV exploded into a brilliant, swirling blue vortex that sucked the room into a storm of light and static. Patty screamed something about anime. Gerard just yelled, I regret feeding John's dog chocolate. Then, whoosh, they were gone. Suddenly, they were standing in a posh suburban kitchen. A narrator's voice echoed from the sky. Tonight, it's Gerard's turn to host. Will his questionable cooking, dodgy entertainment, and mysterious powdery dessert win over the guests? Gerard looked down. He was wearing a tachypron that read, Kiss the Cook. He's Irish. Patty stood beside him, now dressed like a butler for some reason. We have to survive this, Patty said, or we're stuck here forever. Gerard nodded and got to work. For starters, he made cocoa pillows in Patty's armpit heat. For entertainment, he hired 2 prostitutes from Facebook Marketplace and had them ride the guests. Then Patty put on Your Ma's Gay, infamous YouTube video. The guests loved it. They called it a cinematic masterpiece. Some even cried because of its deep story and characters. Then came dessert. Gerard slammed a metal tin on the table. Behold, he said dramatically, it was 100% pure Colombian cocaine. Everyone clapped. One of the guests snorted a line and said it tasted zesty. By the end of the night, the reviews were in. The Chinese man called Suppai Subatsugu said, Shibe wuno wa kanari oishikatta. The black guy called Jamal said, damn, these white niggas can cook, nigga. Then Stacy said, I've never done coke on TV before, OMG. The scores came in 8, 8, 9. Gerard screamed in delight, Yas, I'm through to the final. But before he could celebrate, the remote in Patty's pocket began to glow again. A voice boomed from nowhere. You still owe John €4.50. The room began to rumble. A new vortex opened up. Patty screamed, Where to next? Gerard just shrugged. The vortex from Come Dine With Me spat them out violently. They hit the ground hard. Jesus, I landed on me spine, Patty groaned, face first in the dirt. They looked up. The skies were bright blue. Drones buzzed overhead. Broken cars smoldered. Everything was pixelated but terrifyingly real. They were in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on Nuketown. Then they heard it, a sound that sent ice through their veins.
Really? Of course I get fucking noob tube! Oh, alright. Welcome to the montage with the handgun. Yo, Jared, put on a song there so we can get sued for copyright.
My mama don't like food because she's an anorexic.
WTF Patty said, and the unmistakable voice of their old friend turned semi-enemy, Sean Walsh.
Oh, Margot Robbie, though, wouldn't you?
Oh, you would, yeah. Well,
Patty, Gerard said, eyes wide. We're in your Mam's Gay from Black Ops 3. The one from YouTube. No, Patty said, looking around in horror. That means we're fused. Just then, a robotic announcer blared from the sky. To escape, you must win the match. Defeat your former selves or be trapped in gamer purgatory forever. They spawned in at opposite ends of Nuketown, the iconic map now warped by nostalgia and adolescent rage. Gerard versus 2016. Gerard. Gerard crouched behind a rusted bus, heart pounding. Across the map, his younger self appeared. Cocky and confident, he had a locus and was hitting clips so effortlessly. They hid from the battle, seeing the younger versions of them, selves clean the lobby. Ah, we're fused, older Gerard growled. Gerard ran into his younger self. They both opened fire. Quick scopes, flick shots, the works. But somehow, the bullets collided midair. What the fuck? Gerard screamed. They're evenly matched, Patty shouted from across the map. You're a fat nigga. Gerard made a break for the center of the map, vaulting through a window. He activated his old instincts. The kill feed lit up. Gerard Patty versus Patty Prime. Meanwhile, Patty crouched on the rooftops. His younger self was below, a mountain of teenage testosterone with a man bun and a Deadpool hoodie. They both lined up their shots. Patty whispered, 1 bullet. He pulled the trigger. 5 enemies killed with 1 bullet. Bang, Patty roared. Let's fucking goo my niggas. The final showdown. The real showdown came in the center of the map. Smoke cleared. Gerard and Patty stood face to face with their younger selves, each as confused and angry. Yous aren't us, young Gerard snarled. Yous are old, wrinkly. I'm 26, Brev, Gerard said. Shut your mouth. Younger Gerard opened fire. Patty's double did too. It was chaos. A bullet skimmed Gerard's ear. We're fucked, he muttered. No, Patty said, eyes narrowing. Not if I use my skilliga. He climbed onto the mannequin platform and jumped off, spinning in slow motion, we know scop, and even used his specialist in midair. Trick shot. Enemy, Sean Walsh, eliminated. Across the map, Sean was mid-rant about Margot Robbie when he vanished in a puff of smoke and disappointment. Everyone ran out of ammo. The game went primal. They all sprinted into the middle. The fists flew. No perks, no kill streaks, just rage and knuckles. Patty grabbed his double by the head and slammed him into a mannequin. Gerard headbutted his younger self so hard they both forgot how to do algebra. Breathing heavy, bruised but victorious, the lads stood alone. They had won. The map began to dissolve. They heard a faint static. A TV buzzed from inside the house on Nuketown. On the wall was a 2007 flat screen showing static. Patty looked at Gerard. That must be the way out. They went on YouTube and went on Zinxley's YouTube channel and looked for the "I'm Back" video from Zinxley. They found it and jumped in and kicked the shit out of John and his gay cat Snicks. The heroes then went home and got drunk. The end.